This time I have a Sony Walkman. This one's a WMFX671 auto reverse. One of those ones that use that silly square rechargeable battery, which is unobtainable these days. And the battery on this one's toast. Just a little heads up. Anyway, this one was shipped in for a belt replacement, and it was shipped in with a belt, so don't ask me where it can come from. I will show you where the guy that owns it got it. Let's check it out. What's up, guys? Today I got a Walkman. This is a WMFX671. This one was sent in to have the belt replaced, and the belt was shipped in with it. Don't ask where the belt came from. Actually, you can ask where the belt came from. It came from Manitree. www.dtbelts.com out of the UK. And that's where it came from. That's the shippers. So looks like he paid about $5.95 GBP, Great Britain pounds. So now you get an idea of what the belt is. So let's get into this one and change the belt. Really? I'm guessing this is an audiobook. Alright, so I'm going to open the cover up. Use the screwdriver that came with my my phone battery replacement, as it just happens to be the exact size for the Walkman. So that $25 battery I bought to replace my phone came with the toolkit, came with a spudger, and came with a perfect size screwdriver. It's the same size as my Sony little wood-handled screwdriver. Now, whether the bit is of the same quality, that's to be seen, but it's certainly the correct size to do this type of work. That's how easy the case opens up on this. And excellent, the belt has not turned to goo. Excellent. So pretty simple to replace the belt on this. You note the way that the belt is threaded. It goes around the motor, around one idler, around this other idler this way, and then around the main drive. Because it's auto reverse. This one, is it not? I'm pretty sure this is auto reverse. Yeah, auto reverse. So they get the two capstans and then an idler. Open up the new belt. One new belt, and pretty simple to swap. Anybody could do this. Just take the belt off, and it's good that it was caught before it turned to goo, because this is a belt that would have turned to goo. I believe I have to remove this bracket here's got to come out, or it can slip underneath it. Oh, I can do it over here. This is just one of the terminals for the external battery pack. If I lift the terminal over here on the edge, I should be able to lift it up enough to clear it. There we go. Here's the new belt to put in. Again, manipulate it under that terminal. There we go. And the silence was shattered by the heat pump coming on at like 9:30 in the morning. And the new belt goes around just like that. And that is really it. The belt has been replaced. Much tighter than the old one, which was getting really sloppy. You can see how much this thing stretches and how slow it returns. This is what happens, right? A new belt should snap back right away. If we take this old belt and we stretch it, we'll see that if I release it, it returns very slowly. So this is one that might improve by boiling it in water for 10 minutes. Sometimes they do, depending on the material that they're made out of. Some of them will return and get their original elasticity back and then become tighter. Others won't. So anyway, dead belt. Now it's just a simple process to reassemble the unit in the reverse that it came apart. And it's really quite easy because these machines were designed for easy service. Unlike some of them, at least changing the belt was easy on these ones. The key is getting the correct belt. And the belts are getting harder to find, and when you do find them, well, they're generally located in another country. The bottom goes back on like that, and just replace the screws, and then I can test the unit out. Gee, it was almost worth buying that battery replacement just to get the screwdriver. Because this is great. I mean, I do have other screwdrivers. I bought a $35 screwdriver kit out of Japan a couple of years ago, which has the same size. It's a 00 is what it is. Just before I test and end this one, I'll show you the tools that I've got. This is the little kit I bought for like $35 off of eBay. Amazon. I don't buy on eBay. This came off Amazon. Vessel, $35. Comes with all the sizes that you need. The size 0 I actually cemented with epoxy into the spare wooden handle that the Sony's original engineer screwdriver. These ones are as rare as hen's teeth, these ones, to get this. And this was really expensive. Oh, this one was. When I bought this one, when I worked for this Sony depot, I bought this and ended up with this one. Actually, I didn't buy this. I stole this one from Sony when I worked for Sony, but I had to buy a replacement bit because I managed to break the bit, and the replacement bit was around $30. The handle I already had. And then my daughter decided that she was going to use it to pry something and broke it, because these are metal that these are made of is actually quite brittle. They're great little screwdrivers, but brittle as anything. You don't want to turn something that's in too tight or it's going to snap, or pry anything with it because it'll break. So I took the one original one, number 0 here, and I glued it in, but it's actually not a number 0. It's actually a 00. This one, if you look at the size, I think it's more closely to a 00, maybe even a 000. If we look at it. If we look at the bit size here, I think the original Walkman one is more like that. What is it? Or is it the 00? Maybe the 00. Anyway, we're going to compare these. So, 000, 00, original Sony Walkman. And this is the one that came in the repair kit for the phone. Looks to be very similar. I think the shape of the tip is a little bit different, but it certainly fits the screws, no problem. Anyway, let's check the Walkman out. He also shipped in the correct battery. Whether this is, I don't think this is an original one, but this is the square battery that Sony used. And this battery feels like it may have expanded a bit because it didn't slide in that easily, but we'll see if it works. Okay. and it doesn't turn on. When I first put the battery in, you'll notice that it lit up there for a second. So I don't know if this battery is any good there. You see it's lit up there. Turned on momentarily. I wonder if this battery's no good, because the radio won't even turn on. Yeah, it looks like the battery indicator is flashing that the battery is dead, so I guess this cell that was supplied is not going to cut the mustard, and it won't even come out of here because it feels like it's puffed up a bit, and I'm going to have to extract it using some pliers because it's kind of puffed up. You can see the edges of it here. So this cell is shot. I'm assuming that that's probably the positive terminal there, and I might be able to power this up with a, what is it, up at a 1 point, what is this battery? 1.2 volts. So I might be able to power it up. There was an optional battery case, I think, available at one point for this unit. But I'd like to be able to see it play, even though the battery is toast on it. Yeah, this one's negative here. I determined that by reaching down to the bottom with a metal probe. Anyway, with the lame phone again, that's continuity, so we know that that's negative. So let's give it power. We know this is a negative terminal. Will it power up? Radio. Yes, it does. There it does. Okay, well, I heard something. Volume's turned down, obviously. It won't remember the station, obviously, because it doesn't have power. So it's going to probably fire up at some random frequency, like 97.3.
Banana peppers and a
so that part works. So we know the radio works. I'll throw a tape in. I'll throw his tape in, providing it's not damaged, because this tape's going back with it. Tape goes in like that. I have no idea what this is, this tape that's in here, but
before the Rio police start looking in their files under cannibalismo, if he's in South America, by the Department of Buildings.
So that's reverse.
The fish market building is in a line of stores and warehouses along the
forward.
Police start looking in their files under cannibalismo.
Stop. And if we look on the other side, it's going to be hard to see this tape turning without the right battery. I got to kind of hold the, take that off. Got to hold the little clips on here for power. I just want to see that the tape fast forwards and rewinds, so we know it plays. Will it fast forward and rewind? It should. Yep, fast forward and reverse. Yep, it does. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Fast forward, rewind is working. Play both directions is working, and the radio is working. So this one's done. He's going to have to find a new battery for it or use the external case, but that's probably going to be a hard call to find a battery, and it's going to be obviously expensive, because this one here, as we saw, I just had it charging up. I left it charging up overnight. As you can see, it should slide in and out easily. It's not. It's sticking. And this one here, say nothing. Dead. deader than a doornail. It momentarily comes on when I make a contact. I don't even see it lighting up now at all, but when I first made contact with the battery, it would light up and then it would show dead. But it's not even doing that now. But we know the unit works. So that's all I can do on this one. And if we remember the Watchman from the previous video, this was from the same guy. I think I just discovered where that piece of that broken jack came from. He sent it to me. That's what he'd used to try to plug video or something into it, looks like. And the piece looks like the piece broke off the end, and that looks like it was what stuck inside the jack. That is not the right type of adapter to use for this. At least I think. I think that's where it came from. This was stuffed in the bag, so with the unit itself. Anyway, now the mystery I think has been solved.